Hi everybody, and welcome to this video. Today I wanted to talk about the fact that 24 frames per second is prolific in this day and age for YouTube content. Specifically, the top 29 YouTube videos. The 30th one was privated. When I tried to check its stats, so I don't know. As of March of this year, I know it's been a little while getting this video into making, as you can probably guess, but a lot of the videos was at 24 frames per second, or 25. 60 and 50 frames per second wasn't really big as far as that top videos. Now, I will say, full disclosure, that a lot of these was music videos, and music videos are often shot at 24 or 25 frames per second these days. And so, obviously, with that information in hand, that obviously does skew the results a little bit more, probably towards 24 and 25 frames per second. However, it's pretty clear to me that there's a pretty good sample size here as far as of at least music videos anyway, because there's a lot of music videos. There is some other content too, and a lot of it was also 24 frames per second. 30 frames per second was also somewhat popular, but again, 24 and 25 was higher. In fact, 24 was the most popular of all the frame rates, at least in a specific sample size. Obviously, frame rates differ depending on what content category you're looking at. Video game YouTubers and such are often shooting their programming at 50 and 60 frames per second. So obviously, if you're doing a sample size of video game streamers, you're going to skew heavily the opposite direction to a high frame rate production. So obviously, it does depend, but I just wanted to see, I watch a lot of film channels and a lot of other channels, technology channels, and I do see a lot of 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. I don't see a lot of 50 and 60 frames per second presently, though. Full disclosure, I personally feel that 50 and 60 frames per second video looks kind of strange. To me, 30 frames per second and lower looks a lot more natural. And of course, as a filmmaker, I'm biased. I think 24 frames per second is by far, it's just, that's where to go. 25, that extra frame, I can't really tell, so that's obviously good too. But anything from 30 and up, in that neighborhood, I start to really be able to tell that, yeah, this is definitely feeling a lot more video-like, and I personally prefer content that is more film-like. Obviously, not all viewers feel that way. Some people don't necessarily mind the look of 60. Some people even prefer the look of 60 or 50 frames per second. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting idea to do a video on. Just kind of, I guess you could say, a little quick research project, if you will, maybe even, where I just went and looked and I built a spreadsheet because I'm a nerd, okay, and, calculated these top videos. And yeah, so, I just thought it was kind of interesting to see where the numbers stack up. Again, as you can see on the graph on screen, obviously 24 is, the dominant frame rate, at least in the sample size. I wanted to originally do a higher sample size. The reason I didn't do that is because when I looked at YouTube's API, which is what I was going to use, I was going to write a program that would query, say, like the top 10,000 YouTube videos or something, much more than I could do by hand, and see what frame rates they're at, and then just tally it up so I could come back and check the stats. But unfortunately, as it is, the YouTube API only lets you check the frame rate of a video if it's something you uploaded. Why is that something only the uploader can check? It's in Stats for Nerds if you manually check it. I don't see why that they aren't disclosing that. But they're not, apparently, for some reason. I don't know why that is. If you're a YouTube representative and you're watching this, which I don't know why you'd be watching a video from this small of a YouTube channel, but if you are, hi, please let me know in the comments if you can, if you're allowed to. Is there a specific reason why that you do not allow anybody but the uploader to use the API to check the frame rate? Because for somebody like me that wants to do an experiment like this could be really great to be able to, again, query a big bunch of YouTube videos at once and see what their frame rates are. But anyway, I hope you found this video useful and informative. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Has become more and more popular. I do see it quite heavily these days. So, one of the questions I wanted to know is 25 frames per second was the next and action.